Okay, so week three of Spring into AI brought a new challenge. We had to make something that would enable us to learn. So, an interactive type tutorial. This kind of talks about it, but interactive tutorials um, create an interactive tutorial education to a learning experience powered by AI. Make it engaging so it's fun. And I thought about a lot of different things. Those like tap clicker apps where you get more of whatever it is, and then you can purchase things and make it just compound your work. And I thought, that's kind of gimmicky. I'd like to do something a little different. So what I came up with was called, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to call it Kraken's Quest or because it involves this Kraken as a boss, or what did I end up calling it? Link level. So this is kind of like this really cool design that I came up with just for a poster image. I liked it, kind of neat, but let's see what this thing does, and then we can talk about it. NPM. Okay, this is a mobile first approach, so we're going to. It's actually really only a mobile. I wanted to be able to do this on my phone, so I'd actually use it and not have to sit at my desktop. So what this is I can paste in an article. I can go out to the internet, find an article that I like, and then generate a custom experience around it. So if we go look, let's say we want to learn about, what do we want to learn about today? How do capacitors work? Should we do capacitors? Maybe I already did that. Let's do resistors. Why not? You can do anything. Seems like this article has enough information in it. So let's try it. Just going to copy the URL. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to generate the voyage YOLO mode because I'm doing a demonstration. It's charting the waters, of course. All right. What is a resistor and what does it do? This is trying to guide us down a path. So do we want to tailor this experience to understanding resistors and their functions in a circuit, or applying Ohm's law to calculate voltages, or the use of resistors in series, parallel, etc. I'm just going to go for this top one. And then do we want easy, medium, or hard? I'm just going to go medium. Set sail. So now it's sending this prompt over. If I can find the prompt. Prompt is somewhere, isn't it? Oh, this is really cool. So this calls OpenAI with an API, and it says, "Hey, this is the JSON schema in which you need to respond with." So I just took its documentation, OpenAI's documentation, and I said, "Hey, this is the schema that I need," and it will always respond with this schema. Here's the kind of the easy, medium, difficulty sentiments that it sends. And then this is that you are an expert instructional designer. So I didn't write this, but I dialogued at length with GPT. And I teased all this out and then asked it for these prompts. But you're an expert instructional designer for scenario-based learning architect and model-based survival things. So you can read it for yourself. But important constraints, design rules. So it's saying, we want to structure these questions in segments. So right now we're in here are the segments over here. One, two, three, four. So there's five questions. You can see one of five, and then there's like three of a boss mode, and that gets you to the next X. And there's three of those segments. So this is just formatting the structure that the AI model, which I'm using 4.1 right now. It seems to do a well enough job as a reasoning model. So what do we have here? Ignore this. This is running in development mode. That's why we have this. Your ship's signal lamp circuit has a component that restricts current flow without actively controlling it. What is the component? Well, it's probably a resistor. and it gives you an explanation. So we can kind of go through this. You notice that as soon as the current enters a resistor, the amount leaving through the other end is slightly less than what goes in. The same as what goes in. Is that true? Hmm. I'm on the spot. I can't think. Which property describes how much a resistor opposes the flow of electric current? Resistance. So you get this wind stack bonus the more questions you get right. And 1500 is the maximum total XP I could possibly get with all my stacked bonuses if I get everything right. And if I keep going, I'll eventually get to the boss. But if I lose out here, I take hull damage each time. And eventually, oh, here we are. We're at a storm. So lightning just flashed. This is at the end of the 5 questions, you get a three question storm round. So we get through this. I could sit through all these, but it's really fun. You can learn. Okay, we shipwrecked. Here's the experience, and the region's cleared. We didn't clear any of them. Now we have this captain's log book back here at the beginning, which allows me to go redo iteratively any of the previous voyages that I've generated. And this is kind of cool. It shows how many, um, how much it cost for each generation. So it used this many tokens and it cost me 2.8 cents, 2.9 cents, and the amount of times that I've completed it. So I earned 1500 XP. I got this one perfect. And that's because I made a cheat mode to test the app. Then I can delete it back. Let's see, what else do we have here? Here's a demo mode that just teaches you JavaScript. Um, and it goes through. So I didn't get this map section perfect. That was really the most difficult thing was like how to fill this void area. I spent a lot of time going back and forth on different iterations. I don't love this. I wanted more animation, but you know what? I just had to ship it and get it done. I had to swallow my pride and just it's done and it works and it gets a point across. No, it's not perfect. The ship's cut off. I tried to use different AI programs to generate SVGs of a boat. I had varying levels of success, but the best path just seemed to be have GPT render an icon, and then I dumbed it down in Photoshop so it's really small. And then I just used that. That was much easier. I've seen people get a lot of success with SVG generation. And I thought that would be cool because then I could like animate the sails as we get something correct. But it was too much work. And I imagine that if I spent more time, did more reps on that, I could figure out kind of the magic sauce and then implement it. But yeah, it's cool. It made this game engine. It just takes that JSON output that a OpenAI makes and writes the engine. Here's the schema, boss schema, scenario schema, choice schema, skill tree schema. So it's pretty cool. A lot of fun. Here's the demo data, what it looks like. The idea is that AI just generates this based off of that prompt. I do perform a validation pass using, I forget the name of the tool, but it's in here. I asked it to do a validation, but it does some JSON validation to make sure that it's in the right format and that it output enough um, items. That might be it. Min, max items 5. Yeah, so there's always 5 questions, and then 3 boss questions. So I think that's kind of maybe that's what it's showing. You can tell I haven't read through this as much as I should have before doing this demo. Um, Well, anyway, there is a validation step, and I bet you I could find it in here. No, I do not remember what it is. Well, somebody here probably knows what it is. It runs off of an API key that's local. I need to implement a bring your own API key. I need to do that. That would probably be a good idea. But you can go back, return to harbor, or stay the course, and it just takes you back here. So it was a lot of fun. I got my idea to integrate with OpenAI through Miles over here, and he did this really cool Spring into AI competition memory place, which uses, let's see, I was looking at his app API associations and route, and I was like, oh, okay, this is how he does it. So I kind of pointed, um, I referenced this in my workings and asked AI to follow suit. So his game for this was I missed the page. Yeah, here it is. This one's pretty cool. It uses an ancient technique called Loki, perhaps. I'm not sure. You put things into a room. It helps you memorize concepts by placing concepts onto physical objects within a room. And you can upload your own image, and GPT will guide placements of those areas. So, like on your doorknob, it might be. I can't think of something, but your doorknob represents an electronic resistor. It makes it hard to or difficult to get through the door. That's just an example. And so then every time you touch your doorknob, you remember that a resistor makes it difficult for electricity to go through. I think that's kind of the concept. So I thought that was really cool, and I just kind of built off of that with the AI component. So, yep, I'm gonna post this. You guys can try it out. It will work until it doesn't work, and then you can bring your own API key. So that's about it. Now I just need to figure out how to stop this recording. Zoom's a UI is a little confusing to me. I don't quite understand it. Aha, we found it. All right. Have a great day.